Start again. Good morning. It is early morning here. It is just starting to get light. My household is quiet. It's a good time to do recording. I'm going to read from John's Gospel, chapter 20. On the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb early while it was still dark and saw that the stone had been taken away from the tomb. Then she ran and came to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Jesus loved and said to them, "They have taken away the Lord out of the tomb, and we do not know where they have laid him." I'm going to continue on a few verses later on the story with Mary Magdalene. But Mary stood outside by the tomb weeping, and as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the tomb, and she saw two angels in white sitting, one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Jesus had lain. Then they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "Because they've taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him." Now when she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, and did not know that it was Jesus. And Jesus said to her, "Mary." And she turned to him and said, "Rabboni," which is to say, teacher. Now I've missed out a few verses in here. I know that this story of Mary Magdalene in the garden has inspired lots of people. It inspired me. It was one of the inspirations I had for starting my blog in 2014, because when Jesus and Mary were interacting in the garden, Mary clung to Jesus, and then Jesus said, "Do not cling to me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say to them, I'm ascending to my Father and to your Father, to my God and to your God." Jesus had done what he had set out to do. He had made a way for us to come into the kingdom, to become like children of God. And Heavenly Father becomes our Father by what Jesus has done. Now, many years ago, I was taken by this song, one of those songs that I had heard in my childhood. It's called "I Come to the Garden Alone." And it goes like this. Where is it? It was written by C. Austin Miles in 1912, and he was inspired by this passage with Jesus and Mary Magdalene in the garden. And he is a pharmacist and became a songwriter. And this song was used in a lot of the early revivals as a song. The words go like this: "I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known." And it's a beautiful song. And while C. Austin Miles wrote this in the basement of his house, he had a vision of Mary in the garden meeting Jesus. And you know, you and I, we can enter into that story. We can imagine ourselves being the one walking in the garden and being so distressed at the loss of Jesus, at the death of Jesus and the crucifixion that had been just witnessed, and really feeling distraught and lost. And yet Jesus' voice breaks through and calls Mary's name. It's just lovely, because Mary is sort of my name too. And, you know, I've imagined this song. And in 2013, when my city council made a path for me up the mountain, which is across the road there, this was a song that I sang as I walked up that mountain track. And, you know, that joy that I share is one that I want you to experience for yourself. The joy of hearing Jesus calling your name. And he does call your name. But you have to be still in the silence to hear it. It's a name that gets called into your spirit where he's calling you. Anyway, that's it for today's mindfulness journey on Easter Sunday. We celebrate